What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we got a fun one for you today. We have somewhat of a dilemma, or I should say I have a dilemma. Guys, I was trying to do a top 5 favorite of my G.I. Joes. So my top 5 favorites list. And I've been working on this for like the last 3 weeks. And it's tough. It's tough. So I really had to dig deep because I have a lot of Joes here in the museum. And as any collector will tell you, each collectible or each figure has a special place with the collector. I'm no different. But I said I wanted to do a top 5 of my all-time favorites that are in my museum. And this is the 5 I came up with. There's some honorable mentions as well, and we'll get into that a little later in the show. But these are some of the most sought after and exclusive Joes I have in my museum collection. But they mean more to me than just being exclusive, being hard to find, being expensive. They mean more to me. Once again, these guys were purchased decades ago. So I mean, it's just mean a little bit more to me than just a dollar sign. And they're so cool. I said, I have to do my top 5 on these guys. Just some of the coolest figures I've seen in a while. And just to show you how creative Hasbro was with G.I. Joe and how far he came. And to not have G.I. Joe on the toy store shelves is an absolute sin. Bar none. These were some of the coolest figures. They transcended just being toys. These guys meant a lot to us growing up as kids. And I said, you know what? I got to do a top 5. I simply must do a top 5. And it was hard. It was difficult. It was difficult because it's like you don't want to pick a favorite kid. I have 3 children. It's not like I could tell one of my kids, you're my favorite. Who does that? But these are G.I. Joes. These guys will understand. And I'm going to tell you how tough they are. I couldn't even narrow it down to 1. So I had to do like a top 5. My secret of Planet Nom. The X is silent, guys. I found out. It's silent. It's Nom. Unless somebody else has a different name for that. This figure was released in 2003. And the selling point on this figure was a couple of things. the unique spacesuit that Hasbro gave this G.I. Joe was phenomenal. Not to mention that he's an adventure team and he's got the lifelike hair, and he came with the coolest alien. Super cool alien. The box, this guy is extremely heavy. I mean, super heavy. And then you have the Normandy Pathfinder, super, ultra, hard to find, ultra rare, very exclusive, extremely, extremely, extremely desirable. And I did a review on this guy. If you have this guy in your collection, you got an awesome figure. And anybody that owns this particular G.I. Joe right here, the Normandy Pathfinder, completely understands what I'm saying right now. He's that hard to find. He's very desirable. He's wanted by every G.I. Joe collector to be in their collection. But once again, it was just a massive amount of equipment, accessories he came with, his cool uniform. Everything about this figure was super ultra cool. And I love this. I love this figure to death. And then we come to one of my all-time favorites. And if you see, he's kind of positioned where he's a little bit ahead of these guys. That's the only way I could kind of show that he was maybe just a tad bit more of my favorite, but not by much. This is my John R. Fox, First Lieutenant, Medal of Honor, G.I. Joe that I purchased in, I believe it was 2004. He breaks all of the scales. Coolness, rare, collectability is off the charts. Ultra rare, hard to find. This is everything. Every figure you see up here is C10 or better, museum quality. But my John R. Fox, I have collectors now that want to buy this particular figure from me. I can't do it though, because he means that much to me. I didn't realize though, when I purchased this guy back in 2004, how rare and how collectible he would become, how exclusive he would become. I don't think any collector truly couldn't comprehend what this figure has become since 2004. He is truly one of the most sought after, one of the most desirable, and definitely he's in the holy grail conversation amongst G.I. Joe collectors and the G.I. Joe community. He's that rare. And we're proud to say here at M.I.B. Master Museum that we own him. And he's in our collection. Another super ultra hard to find G.I. Joe and rare is our Navy deep sea diver. Extremely, extremely cool. Hard to find. His collectability is off the charts. Another figure that was under the radar. He came out in, I believe, 2003. Very difficult. Real diving actions. Instructions included. This was another set that, to me, it was just super cool. Very cool. Everything about this Navy deep sea divers uniform and head sculpt is just phenomenal. The one word that comes to mind when I see this particular figure, I have to use my wife's favorite word when she saw this figure in our museum collection: gorgeous. She considers the Navy's deep sea diver gorgeous. And with the helmet, everything about this guy is gorgeous, I guess. It's just a beautiful figure. Just a beautiful G.I. Joe. He's phenomenal. And if you got this guy in your collection, you know what I'm talking about. He's very difficult to find right now. Then we come to another extremely elusive and exclusive G.I. Joe. And everybody is making a huge fuss about this particular G.I. Joe. And that's the 10th Mountain 32nd Division Light Infantry G.I. Joe. And as you can see, he comes loaded with accessories. He's from the SOF, Strategic Operations Forces collection. He's got his backpack down there. Everything about this G.I. Joe screams collectible, screams exclusive. This is a 2003 G.I. Joe. And I am proud to say I have this guy in my collection. As you can see, my top 5, it's difficult to crack Mr. M.I.B's top 5 G.I. Joe favorite list. It's tough. But we do have some honorable mentions. Guys, tell me what you think about my top 5 favorite G.I. Joes in my collection. And there's videos on some of these guys, so you can actually go back and check the videos out if you want to see them individually. This is just my top 5 that I wanted to put together and do. Are these guys cool? What do you think? Definitely leave a comment in the comment section right underneath this video. We would love to hear from you guys on which ones you think is really, you know, is cool, if they would have cracked your top 5. Would any of them crack your top 5? Hard to say. Guys, at this time, we're going to give you some. I'll move my John R. Fox out the way. I'll give you my first honorable mention. It's my 1999 35th anniversary Delta Soldier. Another sought-after figure during his time. Look closely, he's got a patch on his arm. I can't show you. He's got that 35th anniversary patch on his sleeve. I bought this guy. Everybody wanted this guy when he first came out. They were really looking for this guy. He's maintained his collectability very well. But you can get this. You can still get this guy. But I had to put him as an honorable mention because everything about this particular Delta soldier, G.I. Joe, screams coolness. He's awesome. The collectability factor is just icing on the cake for me with this particular figure. Just super awesome, though. I mean, and any Joe that comes with a zip cord automatically gets brownie points for me. Cool pistol and holster. You can see he's got his harness for the zip cord. You can put this guy, hang this guy anywhere, and he'll slide down his zip cord. Weapons galore. I love the helmet, the mask, all of the pouches and pockets on his attack vest. Just phenomenal. That's our first honorable mention. Our next honorable mention, let's bring him up here, is my battalion Motar Marine. Picked this figure up in, I believe, 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. And the coolness factor of this G.I. Joe, this battalion Marine G.I. Joe, is just off the charts. From his digital camouflage outfit and boonie cap, rocket launchers, loaded with accessories. He's got the field phone in his hand, gung-ho grip. Everything, the detail is just beautiful on this guy. Head sculpt is phenomenal. Just a cool G.I. Joe. Just phenomenal. Guys, tell me what you think of the Battalion Motar Marine. Do you own this guy? Is he cool? Is he not cool? We want to hear it all, guys. Should he be in the top 5? Should he have cracked the top 5? Is he good enough to get into the top 5? We want to hear it, guys. Okay, our third honorable mention, third and last honorable mention, is my 1996 Classic Collection Limited Edition British SAS Soldier, G.I. Joe. I got this guy in 1996, December of 1996, right before Christmas. and immediately fell in love with this G.I. Joe. This G.I. Joe was one of the first classic collection G.I. Joes that I ever bought for the classic collection series. So he definitely has a special place in my heart. And he's got the famous 5th panel, so we got to open him up. Let's see if we can get him to stay open. No, that's okay. We'll work around that. As you can see, those rubber bands. He's been in his box for so long. The rubber bands, which weren't doing anything to begin with, it's not like his helmet was going to fall off or his goggles were going to come off, but whatever. Aesthetically, this G.I. Joe is just phenomenal. Beautiful to look at. And this was the start of the classic collection series. And this is one of the first G.I. Joes that came out of that classic collection series line. As you can see, he's loaded with weapons. He's got the thigh holster with the Beretta pistol. I know the name of this. HK MP5 with the silencer. I know that because I said this is the coolest gun I've seen. Weapon. Flashbang grenades over here in the pouches. He's got another vest on, pockets, goggles. He's got the mask, boots, just cool. I'll tell you this. I've said this before, guys. When I really like a figure, I get 2 of them. I have duplicates of this guy, of the British SAS G.I. Joe. That's how cool this guy is to me. Guys, what do you think about that? What do you think about the British SAS soldier? Let's sit him out the way. Those were our honorable mentions. These are our top. These are my top 5. Guys, please like and subscribe. Helps the channel. To our old and new subscribers, thank you. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. We enjoy sharing all of our wonderful collectibles from our museum. This is why these guys are here. For sheer enjoyment. And we just want to get you guys every angle we possibly can. Love that gun on him. Just phenomenal. Guys, with that being said, let's bring him back a little bit. With that being said, you know the routine, guys. We'll be here all day. Grab your favorite beverage. Get some popcorn. Hop on the couch, kick back, and tune in to the M.I.B. Master Museum channel. God bless. and keep collecting.